Hello everybody, how's it going? My name's Kyle. Thanks for stopping by to check out my video here on Arena Hacks. I like doing all kinds of fun deck builds, budget builds, and just ongoing tips and tricks, things that I do to help grow my collection on MTG Arena and save a lot of money while I do it. So this is actually one of those videos today. I'm actually going to be talking a lot about the upcoming set and what I do to prepare for upcoming sets. A lot of it will be the same if you saw me last set release, because I do sort of the same thing every season. It changes a little bit because Wizards of the Coast does change Arena. Arena does change a little bit here and there, and each set does have new things. So today's video, I'm going to be going over the pre-orders and the value I think that those pre-orders give us. I'm also going to be, that actually is going to lead me into drafting, because one of the pre-orders does have draft tokens in it. And after that, I'm going to be going on to just how I like to save and spend my gold and the currency that I earn for free inside MTG Arena. And then I'm also going to go over some spoilers and new mechanics for the new set D&D Dungeons & Dragons for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. And that's pretty much going to be the video for today. So if at any point you guys like this stuff, you like hearing about this stuff, you're learning something, hit that subscribe button, please. Really supports the channel. Also hit the thumbs up and the like, that really helps as well. So let's dive in, shall we? So head over to the store first. And here we are. So these are the pre-orders here. And as you can see down here, I've already purchased this one and I have not purchased this one. Now here's the big thing about these two, because this has so many draft tokens to it, it really depends on how much value you find you get out of the drafts. Now, every player is different, and every player is going to have different skills and is going to be better at different parts of the game. So I can't tell you which one is better than the other. It all depends on you and what kind of player you are and how you find you are in the drafts, how far you progress. Maybe you just like drafting too. Maybe you're new to Magic the Gathering in general and you like drafting, but you're not really that good at any part of Magic because you're so new to it. Well, that's okay then too to go for this. You're going to get value by playing more drafts, practicing, getting better at Magic, and and just getting more of your drafting and more drafting experience. If you're looking for value though, I say you need to consistently be averaging 3 to 4 wins for drafts to be that valuable. I'll get to that in a little more in depth later. Let's just talk a little bit more about these two pre-orders here. So when you're looking to the pre-orders, if you're new to MTG Arena and you're not sure I can see all these pictures, but it doesn't say anywhere what comes in it. Well, if you look in the bottom corner here and here, there's question marks. Everything has it. This one has it. This thing has it over here, right? So you just hover over those question marks and a black box appears and there's everything you need to know. 50 Adventures in the Forgotten Realms boosters, 1 Lolth Spider Queen, and 1 Lolth Spider Queen card style. When purchased, you will immediately receive the Spider Queen sleeve. So you also get the sleeve in there, and the top one is just like a deadline. And it does the same if you go over here and you hover and you see everything you get here. So you get a set mastery pass. That does have value as well. But I find most of the value in this packages comes from what's coming up next, which is the draft tokens. So you get 3 player draft tokens, 1 sealed token, and sealed drafts are more expensive. So that sealed token does have a lot of value that comes with it. You also have 1 Eliwick Tumblestrum and an Eliwick Tumblestrum card style. Blah, blah, blah. And when purchased, you will immediately receive the Eliwick sleeve and Ebundeth pet. So I've already seen some people with that pet there. I haven't purchased this, that's why I don't even use pets anyways. But so it's like I really can't tell you if one of these is more valuable than the other or whether you should buy both. That really depends on the type of player you are. However, I do say there is good value to these, but not like a super amount of value. They're not like super great, right? I don't count any value on the cosmetics. So the Spider Queen card style and the sleeve are all cosmetic. So I don't really care too much about those. I don't put value on them. The only thing I'm putting value on is the booster packs in this deal, as well as that you're actually getting 1 copy of a mythic rare, the Spider Queen here. That's the main bonus you're getting, is that 1 copy of a mythic rare card. Other than that, paying $50 for 50 packs is pretty standard. I figure in the store down here, if you go to packs, and you hop over here, 1,000 or 200 gems per pack, which all these work out to 200 gems per pack, you are paying $1 per pack. If you go to gems and you get this deal here, you're paying the least amount of money per gems. So that's how I figure these packs are worth about $1 each, right? So here you're getting a rare for free when you buy these deals way up here. But when we go back to the pre-order, it's kind of like that. You're not getting the same number of packs. I think it was 45 for the first one, 90 for the second one. This one you're getting 50 plus that mythic rare. But the price I think works pretty much out. You're getting par for the packs and you're getting the cosmetics for free, and you're getting that free mythic rare planeswalker. So if you put a lot of value on that, this could be worth it for you. If you don't play much construction and you only do drafting, you might want to do the opposite of what I did, where you buy this one and not this one. So like I said, I don't do a lot of drafting, and that's why I haven't purchased this one. I won't get the value out of those draft tokens. I won't get as much value out of them as some other people will. So the way I figure it though is with that mastery pass and some of the calculations I do of what these should cost, you're pretty much getting your $50 worth here as well, and you're getting this sleeve, cosmetic, and mythic rare again as a bonus, is the way I figure this all works out. So that's what I think. They are good value. They're nothing super great like, 90% off or 75% off. It's nothing super huge or great like that. But I do recommend buying either one or both depending on what you're into and your personal budget. I am in no way qualified to give anybody financial advice, so if you can't afford to buy any one of them, that's up to you. I'm not going to weigh in on that. That's your financial life and your decision. I'm just giving you my opinions on these two here, on these two deals. So that being said, that leads me up to drafting, which you heard me talk about quite a bit already in what I was just talking about there. So if we take a little bit of a deeper dive into it, I said 3 to 4 wins was your more consistent. If you could consistently get an average of 3 to 4 wins, an average, right? So if you get 3 to 4 wins a lot, and then one game you get 0 wins, but then the next game you get 7, you're still averaging. Your average is still in this area somewhere, right? And the reason why I say that is because with drafting, you are getting to keep all the cards that you draft when you're making your picks. And that's great. You get great value. So if you look down here at the prices, you're probably getting almost that value or pretty close to that value in just the cards that you're picking, plus the one free pack that you're guaranteed to get here, plus 50 gems. You're guaranteed, no matter how many you win or how many it doesn't matter. 0 wins, doesn't matter. You still get this as a minimum. So when you combine these rewards with the cards you're picking in the draft, you are actually getting your money's worth here. Except one thing. There's one thing that I have to point out. Maybe you're not quite getting your full value here. And the reason for that is because the packs that you look through in the draft are bigger packs, and you're only looking through 3 of them. So there's only going to be 3 rares. Now, if the player before you picks a rare or doesn't pick a rare, you might get more than 3 rares in your draft because players may not pick the rare and pass you a rare. But the rares have more value when it comes to your money that you're spending, so that's why I say it kind of balances out. Should you spend this gold on packs or should you spend it on drafting? Well, that's where this 3 to 4 wins really comes in handy, because not only are you getting an increased chance of a bonus pack, you're getting to keep all your cards, but the amount of gems you're getting out helps make up for the price that you're paying. You're getting some of this 5,000 back in gems. Now 5,000 gold should roughly equal, I think, about 1,000 gems, right? So you do get a better deal if you enter with gems, but you usually have to spend your own money to acquire the gems, and that's a whole thing. Gold you get for free, so that's why I like entering drafts with gold, so you're really getting a good value out of it. But when you do get gems, as a reward, as a win, you are converting some of that gold into gems. Now these 3 and 4 wins aren't the greatest conversions for your gold to gems. However, because you're getting all those packs that I just mentioned, converting some of your gold to gems helps make up for the fact that you're probably not getting as many rares. It depends on who picks what, right? And you can never really predict that. But the odds are you're going to be getting less rares when you draft, as opposed to just straight up using this money to buy 5 booster packs. But when you can convert some of that money to gems, then you get to use those gems to buy more packs, to make up for some of those wild cards that you're not getting, because none of those cards you pick and all those packs you open in the draft picks do not turn your wheels to get you more wild cards. So that's where you're also missing out on more rares, right? So you really got to balance how many, like, what is the value of the card? Is it just a straight amount of cards that you're getting is going to equal this? Or is it the amount of rares and mythics that you get, which you're probably going to get less of if you draft? But if you're doing good drafting, like I said, you can then recycle your money to buy more packs and keep the cards you draft. So it's just a win-win. In an ideal world, we would all be perfect in constructed, make a whole bunch of money in a day, then we'd come and do a draft and get 7 wins every time and convert all our gold into 950. And that's a great conversion. That's almost like what I said it should be. It should be 5,000, should equal 1,000 gems. We're dang close here on 7 wins. And you would do that every time you draft, and every day you would just be getting all these packs, converting all your gold into more gems, unlocking masteries, buying more. It would be great, but nobody wins that often. So this is why I said this is kind of your breaking point, kind of in the middle. And if you're like sort of an average player, you should be able to make that there. Other than that, so what I do, since I'm not that great at drafting, what I like to do is I go to the store, and when the new set's going to be released for Dungeons and Dragons, I'm going to go to PAX here and I'm going to buy this a whole bunch of times. I've saved up my gold here, and this is where it comes to, again, like I was saying with the drafting, you know, it comes to the type of player you are. Do you like going into events more, or do you just like playing around in the normal play queue? I love that. I just play regular play. I don't do a lot of ranked, but you know, I'm constantly getting these daily quests done all the time, and I'm saving up my gold, and I don't spend that much of it. You know, I go check out the store, and I come here and I look at the daily deals, and if there's a good daily deal, I'll spend some gold there. For the most part, it just saves up every season. Now, you don't have to do it that way. A friend of mine once mentioned how much gold he can make a day and buy a pack every day and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you can do that, but when a set comes out, it's always nice to get a nice burst and get as many of those rare cards and as many of those cards as you can. And this does take discipline, I'm not gonna lie, but I find it better to save up your gold so you can get that rush. You do the pre-order here, you get 50 packs here, you save up your gold so you can get hopefully at least 50 more packs with your 50,000 gold that you saved up over an entire season or quarter of a year, and then you can get like 100 packs, and it really gives you that initial boost every time a new set comes out, and it helps get you a lot of extra wild cards to help finish those decks with those rares that you want to build right off the start. And it's just, yeah, it's just really helps get you that boost instead of waiting to go through the mastery and get all those free packs that are embedded in there. So the deals lately haven't been that great. There's usually something at the end here for more packs, but like I said, this season hasn't been that great. So I've been saving a lot of money this season because I've just been playing, making gold, and I haven't really been spending it on events or drafting. So if that's the kind of player you are, this kind of strategy, I highly recommend what I do. Now, if you're a newer player, you may not have had enough time to get this much gold. I get it. This took me like a year till I was able to do this on a regular basis every season, save up enough gold to get like 100 packs with the pre-order. So, you know, and maybe this strategy isn't the best for you if you like drafting, or if you're better at drafting. You're going to get more value out of drafting and converting your gold into gems and all that stuff. But, you know, that's what I do. That's my thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty good for all this pre-order stuff and just talking about value and money and how I budget all those things. So now let's just get over into some spoilers and new mechanics that's coming up in Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Okay, so here we are with the spoilers. I just come to Scryfall to get them. There'll be a link in the description of the video. You can see here some of the newest ones that just came out today when I'm recording this. A lot of them don't have English in them, if English is your main language or what you speak. I would say the majority of players are probably English speaking, but as you can see, there are people all over the world who speak all kinds of languages who play this game. But when it comes to the spoilers, you get what you get, right, before the set comes out. There was one I actually know of, and you can find these on other sites too if you snoop around on Google search. There's a green, this one here is not English, but I know I found this one, somebody posted it on Facebook on one of the MTG groups. And basically what this guy is, he's legendary, so you can only have one of them on the field at a time. As you see here, 2 mana, 2/2, and you can see a +1/+1 here. It gets a +1/+1 counter every time you gain life, so it's very similar to Ajani's Pridemate, which rotated out last rotation. But you also, whenever you do that, trigger that ability, you gain life, you put a +1/+1 counter, and you scry, which is actually something that's going to be really powerful because you're kind of stacking your deck a wee bit. You're scrying one, just scrying one, but still. That's what this guy does. You can, so as you can tell, you can find these, if it's not English here, you can find them in English somewhere else, if that is your native language and that's what you understand. So other than that, yeah, there's just a lot of really cool stuff. I've noticed there's like a dragon in every color. They may not be named after the color. Some of them, I think, up here, scroll way up here, some of them are named after color, like black dragon, green dragon, and stuff like that. But Dungeons & Dragons set, right? So they do have a lot of dragons in here. I've also noticed some of the names, maybe characters or something like that, you may recognize from some of the legendary stuff. Like this, the Book of Vile Darkness. That might be something in... I don't play Dungeons & Dragons enough, so I only played it like twice in my life, a couple times, and that's it. But yeah, so that may be a thing that's in Dungeons & Dragons, and fans of that game may recognize some of the names of people. The other thing I've noticed in this set is you get a lot of these choices, right? So you play this instant here, choose your weapon, and the names too. I've noticed the names, they've definitely chosen the names of the spells to match kind of, there's just a theme among them. So choose your weapon, here we go, an instant, and you choose one, and you get to either double target creature's power and toughness until end of turn, or the spell deals 5 damage to target creature with flying. And you see there's these words that I'm not reading here, and they're just flavor words. They kind of just describe what these options are doing. So not only is this theme of having multiple options for a spell, not only have I noticed that as a theme for Dungeons & Dragons, but the Adventures in the Forgotten Realm, sorry, Dungeons & Dragons is a whole separate game, D&D set based, you know what I mean, right? You know what, I'm talking Magic the Gathering here. But yeah, you know what I mean. So yeah, it's something I've noticed. They do a lot more of that than I've seen in other sets. Or, yeah, they just do a lot of it. But they also have that flavor text there that describes basically what this is doing. What is this? 2 weapons fighting. So double target creature's power. Makes sense, right? To name it that. It doesn't have it. It's, you know, it's cute. You know, whatever. Cool. That's not one of the biggest things about the Dungeons & Dragons set, though. That is something cool that I've noticed. Something else that's a new kind of mechanic in here is... Where is it? It's Pack Tactics, right there, that one. Now I've noticed on this website it's kind of fuzzy. If you're having trouble reading, I'm sorry. Like, it is like I get really close, and like I even zoomed in a little bit, and it's still with my browser, and it's still kind of fuzzy. I don't know why. If that's just something to do with the leaks, and you see this one. I think this one here is almost a little fuzzier and hard to read than this text. So I don't know. It could be where they're getting the pictures, maybe the source. All kinds of sources here where they get them from. So yeah, like I said, I'll be including a link to to Scryfall here, this web page where I'm getting all this. But let's get back to Pack Tactics. It's kind of like Magecraft or Landfall. It just triggers on a specific event. And in this case, it's when you have attacking creatures that total power 6 or greater. And then this creature also has to be attacking with them, so his 3 power does count towards that. And then you activate whatever ability the card says right here. So in this case, he just gets first strike until end of turn when you attack with creatures that power, or that total power 6 or greater. And that's basically what Pack Tactics is. So that's just a new little mechanic there that's been introduced. But the biggest thing, I actually think, the biggest change, and it's going to take a little adjustment. I know it's going to take a bit of adjusting for me to get used to using them. But something new is the dungeons that they're adding to Magic the Gathering. And when I first started seeing spoilers for this set, I wasn't even thinking that like there was going to be anything that kind of new added to it. But there is this thing called dungeons, and we'll go take a quick look at them right now. Okay, so here we are. I'll include this link in the description as well, but we are on MTG Wiki right now. Kind of like, yeah, it looks like Wikipedia. The layout is identical. It's kind of nice. I actually like it. But But here are some dungeons. I don't know if there are any more than just these 3 or what they are. I'm not going to zoom up on them or go through all the words that are in here. Basically, more or less, you get a token that you put on the dungeon, and then there are certain events and you move through room to room. And as you see all the text in these cards here, there is text in each room, and that basically describes abilities that you get to do when you enter those rooms. So that's kind of neat there. That's, like I said, this mechanic is going to take, I know for me it's going to take a bit to get used to, but how do you start with dungeons? How exactly do they work? Well, these cards don't go into your hand. They don't even go into your library. They go into your command zone. So they're not even really, they have an effect on the game, but they're not in the game. They're sort of exiled, these dungeons. And there are cards that have an ability, venture into the dungeon. And whenever you activate a venture into the dungeon ability, that's when you get to either move through the dungeon or you get to start your dungeon. So when you first activate venture into the dungeon, what you do then is you choose a dungeon, and then that dungeon goes into your command zone, at least from what I'm reading, I read here. I'm just summarizing in my own words exactly what I read all right here. So basically, yeah, so when you activate venture into the dungeon, and cards will say on it, venture, do this, pay so much mana, venture into that, they will say it, right? So you venture into the dungeon, you choose your dungeon, put it in your command zone in that moment, and then you put a, what is it, a venture token or something, a venture mark into the first room in the dungeon. And then you also get to do whatever it says in that first room, these little rooms at the very top here. This is a lot of rooms. This is like 7 rooms to get to the end, or 6 maybe. I can't remember, I counted it. But this one's a big one. This one you can choose either 3 rooms or go 4 rooms this way. And you got stuff like that. And every time you activate venture into the dungeon, you will then either move your venture token or add a new one, and you get to choose which rooms you go into next, and you just make your way through. It doesn't really say here what happens at the end of the dungeon, what you do with it. So hopefully there'll be more on that later. Like, I couldn't figure out what happens at the end, so I wish I could help you out with that, but I don't even know. I couldn't find it. But anyways, that's how dungeons work. I think that covers most of their mechanics for them. I would assume afterwards they go out again, and when you venture in the dungeon, you get to choose a new dungeon and go work your way through that dungeon. I don't know. There are other cards too that get abilities and bonuses. It's like when you've completed a dungeon, I don't know, creature gets plus whatever, but there are things that do get bonuses when you complete dungeons. So that's probably about the biggest new thing in this new Adventures in the Forgotten Realms that's coming up, is these dungeons. So I definitely wanted to cover that and talk about it. I remember when I was doing some spoilers, I looked into these dungeons, I'm like, what is this all about? So then I started reading all this, and I was like, whoa, okay. I didn't realize, like, I thought it was just going to be cards and names of things from Dungeons and Dragons. That was going to, like names of certain creatures or certain artifacts or items or something like that. Is what I thought it was mostly going to be. I didn't think they were going to add things like dungeons in a lot of dragons. I expected that too. But yeah, I didn't expect them to add dungeons to it as well, this whole mechanic for it. But it's really cool. I'm interested to see how those dungeons work out. So yeah, that's about the spoilers and the new mechanics for this set. Okay, everybody, so that was the spoilers and the new mechanics for the new set that's coming out, Dungeons and Dragons, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Those are some of my thoughts on the set. I know I didn't really give a lot of thoughts. It was more like, this seems interesting. I'm not sure what to make of dungeons and how those are going to work out, and this, that, too. I was a little weary about learning lessons and getting lessons out of your sideboard when Strixhaven was coming up, and it wasn't released yet, and I was like, I wonder how that's going to work, accessing your sideboard so much and all that stuff. I don't know, it sounds pretty good, but I'm like complicated, I don't know, and it worked, and then you play, and it's just really fun, and you play around with it. So I'm really curious to see how those dungeons are going to work out and play, how effective they're going to be, how much they're going to be used, etc., etc. But yeah, what are your thoughts on all this stuff? Are you guys excited for the new set, Dungeons and Dragons? What do you think about all these little flavor text that they're adding to the words? What do you think of my video here? Did you like it? If you did, hit that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you got some good value out of it and you like the content that I'm doing. Subscribing really helps. Thumbs up too, all that stuff. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. 4th of July is coming up, so happy 4th of July. I'll be doing a video that day. That'll be my next video. So yeah, again, comments. Let me know what you think of all this stuff that I discussed here. Let me know what you think of all this. What do you think of this video? Should I do more of these where I just sit down and talk to you guys about stuff like this, the value, the money, the gold, the gems, the drafts? What do you guys like? What do you prefer? Let me know. And see you on 4th of July. Cheers.